I think that people with time have become more and more egocentric, not caring about the well being of others. Society is changing, and no way empathy isn't a priority between us. So I think that's the biggest challenge because when I was a kid, I always reminded of the importance of being empathic, and always it is being left aside. Some of the challenge facing this situation. I think that people with time have become more and more egocentric, not caring about the well-being of others. How can we promote a different vision of empathy? I think the way I will promote a different vision of empathy is giving people examples of how not being empathic has affected the human race along of the years. For example, the Holocaust. If people were a little more empathic, maybe all the horror wouldn't have happened. So I think that giving examples makes people to see where the lack of empathy can take us. How has this been affecting your work field? I think that it affects because I think that everyone needs to be empathic when it comes to working or studying because sometimes there is people that don't respect others and they become affected. That's why I think that we need to respect each other as humans and we never know when we'll need help from someone else.
How has this been affecting your work field? Uh, I think for me, it's really important to be empathic with people. No one can know what they are feeling. However, I seriously believe that there are so many people who cannot be empathic and that can greatly influence that personality of the other person. Um, how can we promote a different vision of empathy? Um, it is extremely important to make them see how important it is to be empathic. And so, in order to be able to make work groups, a lot also comes from education that your family could give you. Um, Mention some way in which leaders can boost empathy in the workplace. Leaders today are capable of achieve that momentum in your entire work group and being able to make one. Our health experience like with the power to achieve the objective of each person. Today, the leader is essential to be able to have a path and to be able to have a guide, providing empathy throughout the work area. And which are some of the challenges facing this situation? Empaths need to disconnect from the needs of other times. Self-care can help. Turn off your phone, stay away from social media for a while, and take time to be alone with yourself. These are powerful ways from empaths and to recharge.
Hi, my name is Octavio Vallejo, and I will explain you how not having empathy has been affecting in my work life. I believe that if there's no empathy, there's no respect. If there's no respect, we won't be able to progress either in school or in job. We will have many problems like battles with our partners or expulsion of the school or job. In primary, I suffered a lot of these problems. I think we can promote a different vision of empathy, explaining what it means. I mean, we need to teach other ones that they must put their feet in other one's shoes. This will make that other people make conscious of how important it is to have empathy. I'm studying finance, and the way in which banks leaders can boost empathy in the workplace is creating confidence with employers, telling them that anybody is perfect. Everybody have mistakes, obviously. And it is not fair that you love of these ones. Some of the challenges facing the situation are to convince other people that we must respect each others, to make feel the ones that will expose that they are in a great work environment, and they need to feel relaxed and comfortable. It is important this because for having a great work environment there need to be some respect. Maybe if you don't have this, the job won't progress anymore. And also in this school, in Anahuac Norte, we must have empathy. We must respect each others. For example, when someone passes to the front to expose, we can laugh of him or her because that is no having.
My name is Manuel, and I study finance and accounting, and these are my answer for these questions. The first question is, how has this been affecting your work field? In my opinion, the answer may seem like a cliche, but the truth is that companies that invest in empathy with their customer are ahead of the curve because they really care. And a good dose of empathy can be the difference between success and failure that your client will have with your company. The second question is, how can we promote a different vision of empathy? I try to understand what is important to do other person and work on being like able. The important thing is that the situation is good for both. Understand what the other person is looking for and what their needs are. Once you have connect with the other person, you will be able to express yourself if more assertable. The third question is, mention some way in which leader can boost empathy in this workplace. For this question, I choose for answer. The first is listening, understanding, and all parties, and taking into account the point of view of all those involved makes it more easier to reach. Sorry for the persons and common agreements instead of issue and other unilateral. That. The third answer is understanding and promote colleagues and collaborators with what they need to move forward, build a sense of truth and strength relationships, leading to create, collaborate, and increase productivity. And my finally answer is feeling, understand, her, and respect for our ways of thinking help us to be more open when expressing our emotion this way, we can relate more sincerely and feel evaluate for who we are without fear of being judged. Well, and the finally question is, what are some challenges facing this situation? Well, egocentrism and narcissism, the lack of humanity, and not knowing how to forgive other people.
Hello, my name is Eric. I'm here to talk about empathy, how this affects in the work field, how the leaders should improve to have a better empathy in the work field, what are the challenges that we affront in the work field or in the life to have a better empathy. I'm studying law, so this talk is going to be based in law. So I believe that in the work field, look it obviously from a legal point of view, it is a quite serious problem not to have it. Since a lawyer needs to have empathy with his clients. This is because we have a direct relation with them and some of their most serious and important problems. This is what for having this quality is one of the most important because it can help you to have more clients, to have a better reputation, and this will help you in all things, all the ways. To have a better feeling of empathy, we can attend talks or congresses that help us to improve in these reward leaders. The leaders should always promote empathy by example, saying it is who we should follow according to the interest of the workplace. Obviously, always in the same way. They can encourage attending these talks based on empathy or congresses. And I think that the biggest challenge that are presented to us based on having a better empathy are the limits. The limits that we set ourselves, the limits that the environment where we are present us, and the people that surround us. Because if these three factors are good enough, they themselves will encourage you to have a better empathy in your workplace, with your family, with your friends, in all the ways. So I think that this challenge we can affront and we can have a better empathy in all the ways.